Hello students, today's agenda is to check homework. We'll be working on reflections, again more constructions, and you will be able to do 10.3. Today students will be able to construct reflections. And what we will be needing again is a compass, a straight edge. So it says in here, reflect triangle ABC using XY as the line of reflection, and what you will be needing is, from last lesson you learned to do perpendicular lines, and so that's what you will be needing today. Well, you can't really see why in there, but there it is. Okay, and so remember, if you don't know how to do perpendicular lines, it's kind of like a review, but at the same time, if it's hard to understand here, what you can do is go back to the previous lesson at the first example. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to point A, and on the line you're going to create two arcs in there. Okay, and each arc is gonna be where you're going to place that intersection with the line. You're gonna place the point, and you're gonna create another arc from each of those small arcs on the line. Oops, don't let it don't let it move. Okay, and from there you're going to create the perpendicular line in here. I'm just gonna put it dotted because that's not what we're gonna, that's not the main point. What we want is to reflect this triangle ABC on the other side. So since I didn't open or move my compass, that should be point A prime, but I'm gonna measure it just to make sure. Sometimes if you did open your compass, this side will be a little smaller or bigger. See, that's point A prime. So that's where it reflects. And if you remember the previous unit, we did reflections by counting little squares. Okay, now it's just using the compass to make perpendicular lines and measuring the distance to make sure that it's the same number of units, but on the other side of the line. We'll do this one more time. One thing that I recommend, because I ended up with 6 arcs in here, 2 for each point, I recommend that you paint these arcs so that you don't get confused. We're gonna do the same thing for point B. We're gonna create a perpendicular line forming from that point 2 small arcs, and then from each intersection of the arc and the line we create another arc on the other side of the line. Okay, and that's gonna be my point together with point B. I can create my perpendicular line. Okay, and so again, I'm gonna measure to make sure. Again, if you had opened this bigger or smaller, closed it smaller, then this measurement wouldn't be the same. They stayed the same for me, but I'm just gonna confirm that they have the same measurement. See, it's right there. So that's gonna be B prime. Okay, that's the reflection of it. Finally, I'm gonna do for letter C, same process. I'm gonna create a perpendicular line. Oh, and again, I'm gonna mark these arcs so that I don't get confused. I think that's good enough. And so I'm gonna create again 2 arcs on the line, and in here I think I'm gonna open it a little bit, and this is when it's gonna be useful to measure how far from the line it is. I opened it a little bit because I was fearful that the arcs will not meet on the other side. Okay, and so, whoops, sorry about that. I'm gonna create the perpendicular line through point C and touching the perpendicular to line XY. So in here you notice that this is a little longer, so that's where this is gonna be useful to do this last part. Still a little, there you go. And so I'm gonna mark it right there because that's where the line, the perpendicular line and this arc meets. That's my reflection of point C, meaning this is C prime. And now I'm ready to create the reflection of ABC, triangle ABC. So I just connect A, B, and C. As you can see, they look exactly the same but flipped. And that's the reflection of triangle ABC using XY as my line of reflection. Okay, and since it's very simple and it's based on a previous lesson, that's all for this lesson. And sorry about that, Rocky is barking. So have fun doing 10.3. Bye bye.